Alright, so it's been a very long time since I've been back on my channel, and I thought, wouldn't it be the best way to start off everything again with a beautiful sunrise? Just to kind of walk you through what's been on my mind over the past year, because a lot of different things has happened in the business. That's mainly what I want to touch on in this video as well. So, last year I was at a point in my professional career, if you want to call it that, where I kind of tried to figure out exactly what I want to do with the way that I essentially run the company as well, and how I want to be operating a company. So in the beginning of 2025, I started to reflect a bit more on that. I started to figure out exactly what I wanted to do with the business itself. And I could just feel day by day, every single day that went on, that I was not happy with the way that I essentially ran my company, with my partner at that point. And I think that's just not worth it, to be honest. I don't think that's what I came into business for in the first place. Like, I don't wanna just do anything for money and just build any type of business to build up like a big empire that generates a lot of cash, for any cause essentially. So I started thinking about this like on a monthly basis and pretty much on a daily basis as well. And I think the more thing we did in the company and the more different things that we tried, I just became more clear in my point that, like, if your gut is telling you to go a different route, then you should probably listen to that. At least try to think about if there's a different way that will make you more purpose essentially, or give you a more purposeful life for what you're doing. And by no means, I think it's not the fact that you should be quitting when things are hard or anything like that. I gave myself a lot of thinking time to essentially figure out if this was the right thing for me or not. But I think building a business with massive growth like we did essentially, and building it to the point that we literally did millions of dollars in sales in a company over the span of a few years, from literally zero from that point, which was incredible. And it was really funny in the beginning, because I thought I was building the company for a different reason for myself essentially, and that has changed over the course of the last few years. So now I just became more aware of the fact that, like, that's not the only reason why I'm doing this, and I had to pull myself back down to essentially realize this. And I think a lot of people don't do that, and I think it's gonna hit them in the face eventually at some point, and it did for me. So it came with its obstacles as well. I felt guilt for every time we essentially started onboarding new customers as well, because I felt like I couldn't provide them the time that they were essentially deserving as well, and what I would love to give them. But for me, that business just didn't allow me to get into this creative space of like doing what I was essentially the best at. And that just kept haunting me every single day of the year. And it came to a point where I was just like, I just couldn't do that anymore. Like, the clients that we took on for the business itself, it felt like a factory. Like, we were just printing clients for the sake of doing it. But it didn't really like serve any purpose for me. And I really didn't feel like I could fulfill on the creativity that I wanted to express as well in my work, which is a very daunting thing when, like, you are a creative person, you want to express your creativity as well. So that was a very painful thing. But obviously it all lied in the fact that, like, at some point I just had to figure out what direction do I want to take with this, and what direction do I want to go with my business essentially, and what is the most important thing for me. So that's what I came to the realization of at the end of the year 2025, and I essentially decided to part ways with my business partner that I've been working with for the past few years, due to a few different reasons. This is not something I want to get in this video essentially, but misalignment and just like we weren't aligned on the vision, and I wanted to run the company in a different way, and I wanted to steer the ship in a different direction than what I at least felt like the rest of the team were ready to do, in a more creative direction. So for me, it was the best thing to, kind of just let things on to a new chapter, and that's what we did. So I parted ways with that business partner, and I got some time to really pull myself back and sit down and reflect on like the past few years. And it was the first time I actually managed to sit down and really think about like how fast things can change when you're working on the right things, first of all. You know the right people, and you don't let like any limitation stop you for what you're working on. That's like really now where I started to realize that. So I sat down and I really started reflecting on like a few different things, but what came back mostly was relationships and just overall like my bond to the different people that I have around me. And I think I really started to realize like how important it is to have incredible people around you. And that sounds way easier than it might be to just get that. But a really good starting point is your parents. And for me, I have started to get a very, very tight relationship with my parents, especially over the past year. We've become so much better friends, so much more close, and I'm just forever grateful for that, because it hasn't always been like that. When I say we haven't been close, I'm not talking that we haven't been talking or anything like that. We just haven't been talking on a deeper level that we are now, which is something that I'm really, really grateful for that we are able to do now. And I have exponentially become better friends with my parents, and I think that's an amazing thing. I think it's an incredible thing. They're just super, super supportive, and I think it's also just been very clear for me now why certain people are saying that they want to give back to their parents. I think a lot of people say that, but they don't actually know why that is. Of course, you always want to give back to the close people around you, but I think especially when it comes to people that are just so incredibly, incredibly supportive to you, and people that just genuinely want to do the best for you, then that's what I essentially felt this year, and I'm just so grateful for that, and I want to give them the world for that. So amazing people, and I love them for that. The next thing is, and this one hit me hard this year, this one really hit me hard, is my relationship with my girlfriend has also just become so much better, and I realized that the time has been flying incredibly fast. We're coming up at our 9th year together next month, which is insane. That's just out of this world. But same thing with my parents, like incredibly, incredibly valuable to have people like that around you. And she's just been supportive ever since I started this venture, and also through many other ventures, by the way. Like she's been through all of it. Like she's been through the massive highs. She's been through the massive lows. She's been with me when we went to school and when I had multiple different jobs, quit the jobs, quit education, all that stuff. So that's just really, really rare. And again, I haven't been really good at like expressing how grateful I am for her as well. But I think I've just been, and I don't want to blame everything on this business venture or anything like that, but I think I've just been locked up in like what I thought was the most important thing this year especially, and also last year and the year before that, to a point where it's like I tend to forget everything around me. I tend to forget people, relationships, and all that around me, and that's not a good thing, you know. And you need to keep this in mind. Like, these people are people that genuinely want the best for you, so like you actually need to keep them close, because at the end of the day, if you're building a company and what you think you're building it for is wealth in terms of finances, but when you've gotten to the point where you think you have achieved the thing that you're actually doing this for, which is the finances, and you don't have any people around you that can support you because they're all left in the process of you building this thing, then what are you doing this for in the first place, right? And don't get me wrong, I think you should be cutting people out that are not benefiting your goal or not giving you the right energy for like what you're trying to achieve. You should not be surrounding yourself with people that are tearing you down. But you should also not throw good people away. And I think I've thrown a lot of good people away, but I'm lucky enough to have an amazing inner circle. And at the end of the day, that's the most important thing for me. I'm really grateful for that. On that note, I want to take you through a few different things in terms of what I'm working on now as well, just so you have the full picture. Because I finally got my creativity back. Like, I'm so much more creative when it comes to content now. Like, I have a lot of different ideas that I want to express myself with. Stuff like this, for example. I love talking on the camera like this. And I want to do more of this stuff, and I can do that now, especially because like I don't have to make content. I just do it because I love it. Like, and that's the most amazing place that you can be in when it comes to recording content, because I want to show you guys who I actually am, and not some like polished version that is selling you all kinds of different things that is not worth it or anything like that. I want to essentially like be showing you my view on my world, at least, and also take you through my journey and my world and welcome you into my life. I want to do more of that. And on the things that I'm working on right now, I'm lucky enough to have really good friends that I'm building a really cool software with as well. So majority of my time right now goes towards building this software, and that's a really fun process as well. And it's just been a crazy journey to be doing this with like really, really good friends, people that you can essentially call your best friends as well, and build incredible companies like that as well. Similar to what I've done in the past. Like, I'm blessed to be able to get these opportunities and blessed to be able to work with amazing people and to build amazing companies as well, and kind of express our sort of like creativity in the different products that we're selling as well, no matter what industry that might be in. So that's a bit on what I'm working on right now, and that's my only focus, apart from this content thing. Lastly, I want to leave you with a few notes in terms of things I think are really, really important that you keep in mind. And I'm still battling with this myself today. And the first thing is like, it's all gonna be okay. Like, everything will be fine. Like, it will be fine. You're not going to, it's not gonna be the end of the world if you have downtime or if you have periods that are working against you or anything like that. It is not gonna be the end of the world. Even though it might feel like it at the moment when you're going through a super, super rough period, or something that just feels like it's heavily against you, I can promise you, like, those periods will come and they will go, no matter what stage you're at. I've realized that. And also, ironically enough, the higher the highs you get, the lower the lows tends to be as well. So I can promise you, money will not solve your problems in all senses. There's other things in your life that you need to fix as well. And you're just gonna be stacking up debt if you're not fixing those things before. But I can promise you, no matter like what situation that you're sitting in, it's gonna be alright and it's gonna be okay. Even though the period that you're sitting in feels so uncomfortable, it feels so like unachievable or anything similar to that, then just count on yourself and remember that there's always going to be a day tomorrow as well to give it a shot. If you didn't get to do everything on your list today, well then hey, there's going to be another sunrise tomorrow, and that's another opportunity to essentially try and do better. And if you just look at it like that, that's at least the way that I've been looking at it, you're going to be able to get through days that are a bit more tough than normal in a far easier way, and with a bit more discipline and motivation and a bit more clarity on like what you're trying to build actually. Because you don't need to get everything overnight. It's not a sprint. The whole journey is essentially what's making all this worth it in the end. And if you're not enjoying that ride, then you'll be surprised when you at least get to the so-called magical goal that you have in mind, because the goal itself is not, ironically enough, is not the thing that you're doing this for. And I think you should still go through the process of getting all these fancy things that you tell yourself is the goal, to ultimately show yourself that it wasn't the thing that you were doing it for. So I don't blame people for doing that. I think, as a matter of fact, I did that myself to figure out that it wasn't for me and it wasn't what I was doing it for in the first place. So I think you should do the same. And I think you should be getting experiences, but don't rush yourself in the process. And on the experiences part, I think this is one of the biggest learnings. Like, don't try to just be the person that has done everything and act like you are the person that has done everything. Like, you should actually go out and get experiences. You should learn how to become really, really good at being comfortable in uncomfortable situations, because all this stuff that you're doing is going to shape you from the experiences that you had as well. It's going to essentially build the personality that you have, build the persona that you are and that you have from the experiences that you have from building this company or whatever it might be. It comes from all the failures itself. And I am craving failures, experiences, because I know that every time that I go through periods like the one that I've been going through just before 2026, it's shaping me in a whole different way that you couldn't possibly imagine. And that's the best form of learning. And it's like, I would pay so much money for the learnings that I've gotten over the past few years with the failures that I've went through. Not just buying a mentor or getting a course or watching a YouTube video. That's a different form of experiences and knowledge that you're getting. But actually going out there and doing shit and then failing and messing up, I cannot describe how important those lessons are and how much they actually teach you in the end. So you should become so comfortable just failing, because if you cannot stand failing and if you cannot stand not getting what you're trying to get immediately, it's gonna be tough for you, man. It's gonna be really tough for you. So those are the things that you should be striving to at least work on when you're trying to build something, because it all starts there. And it will exponentially make it easier for you to also make progress if you just fix that, instead of just like putting it away and not thinking about it too much. So I think that's some of the most important things when it comes to just building stuff. And I want to leave you on a note that you can just do stuff. You can just go out and build stuff. And there hasn't been a more incredible time than the one that we have now, that we're living in, for just doing shit. Like, it's so easy to start doing something, getting the experience, and then building up your sort of like experience stack. And eventually, when you've done that enough, you can start charging money for that. You can start making money, you can start getting traction on your product, you can start living in a more peaceful and have more freedom in your life as well. So I want to leave you on the note that, like, just do more stuff and get those experiences, because it has been so worth it for me to just jump into the unknown and try and do something. And I know you can do it too. And the core principle of this video was to kind of take you through my morning here, to give you some sunrise thoughts, and just to welcome myself back and use this as a bit of self-therapy for just what I've been having on my mind over the past few months and years. And I just couldn't hold that in anymore. I just wanted to get that out to you. And for selfish reasons, I wanted to make this video actually in the first place for myself, my former self. But I think that there is somebody out there that might be sitting in a similar situation, or at least maybe can take some of these learnings that I've had on the way as well and use them to their advantage to at least progress in a more positive direction. And if that's you, then I genuinely appreciate you for also watching this video, and I hope you gain something from it. So in the future, I'm really excited to be back on my channel to record more content as well. And I appreciate you for watching, and I wish you an amazing day.